Hi, everyone. My name is Allie Blumenberg, and I am a second-year occupational therapy student at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center. Thank you for joining me today for my in-service presentation on serving in a leadership role within a professional organization. There are some learning objectives that I will be addressing throughout this presentation. Following the presentation, the learners will be able to identify 3 or more types of leadership. Learners will list 3 responsibilities taken on by a leader in a professional organization, and the learner will identify 2 to 3 leadership opportunities within the field of occupational therapy. So, what is leadership? It can be hard to define as it can mean different things to different people. It is defined on a person-to-person basis, depending on what qualities and actions people believe embody a successful leader. Personally, I can say that as I have progressed through different stages of life, my own definition of leadership has changed. Joseph Rost discovered 221 different conceptions and definitions of leadership. So I went looking for a broad definition of leadership and came upon the businessman and college president W.C.H. Prentice. He disagrees with leadership as possessing a certain skill or exercising power and force. He defined a leader as someone who can understand an individual's motivations and enlist employee participation in a way that takes into consideration the needs and interests of the group's purpose. So, when working within a professional organization, it is likely that we will be surrounded by a variety of individuals. And understanding that each person has different strengths and needs can help to promote collaboration towards the group's goal. I find it enlightening that it isn't one skill that defines the ability to become a leader, as this gives everyone the opportunity to tap into their strengths and become a unique leader. Throughout our coursework, we have learned many different types of leadership. We have experienced leadership in action at jobs, fieldwork sites, and at school. We may adapt to one leadership style over another, but understanding the different types of leadership can help to cultivate our own strengths and even prepare us to serve as leaders in the future. So, Lewin's 3-style model of leadership describes leadership in 3 ways. These are authoritarian, participative, and delegative. An authoritarian leader often does not consult with others when making decisions and will decide on goals and methods without collaborating with their team. They usually also don't get involved in group work. A leader who demonstrates a participative leadership style takes part in the group's endeavors and accepts advice and suggestions from their team. And they often express their values and goals for the future of their company. A delegative leadership style is one where the leader hands off the responsibilities to the group, and this gives the group the ability to set goals, methods, and roles on their own. And there has to be a great sense of trust in this style of leadership. So while these styles may represent a leader that you've encountered before, there are other styles of leadership that I feel are important to address. So situational leadership requires an understanding of the situation and an effective response to that situation. The situational leader will modify their management style to best fit the team that they're working with. Transformational leadership is one in which the leaders encourage and motivate their group to create change. and they trust their employees enough that they can be creative on their own and make their own decisions. Transactional leadership focuses on the exchange between the leader and the group, and this allows the leader to direct the group's behavior towards the goal. And servant leadership is one where the leader focuses on the growth of the people and the community that they belong. So this leader is really dedicated towards the helping others develop and grow and perform their best. So I found a really interesting study that looked at the relationship between faculty perceptions of occupational therapy program director leadership styles and the outcomes of leadership. And the results from the study show that the most effective occupational therapy leaders in academia have been those who utilize a full range of styles, but may adopt a transformational and transactional leadership style. So this is a study done in one setting, and a study done in another setting may show that another style of leadership is more effective. So this is why understanding the different styles is so important, so that we may utilize these techniques and be more in tune to the types of individuals that we work with. I have attached a short leadership quiz that tells the user more about their leadership traits. The quiz will tell you if you tend to fall more within the authoritarian, participative, or delegative style of leadership, as well as the qualities about these styles. It can be helpful to know where we fall in these areas as we begin level 2 fieldwork and have additional leadership opportunities. And you will be asked about your results from this on the Google quiz at the end of the in-service. So when you think of a successful leader in a professional organization, what qualities come to mind? As I have mentioned before, everyone will have a different answer, as we have all had different experiences, and that's what makes leadership so rich. So there are some responsibilities that help to build a successful leader. And I want everyone to take about 20 seconds to write down some responsibilities that they think a leader will have within a professional organization. And then I will go over some of these after. Okay. So the leader must be able to communicate effectively between his or her team. The leader must work to inspire and motivate those around him or her. Being honest and leading with integrity can prevent issues from arising. And then demonstrating problem-solving skills when problems arise is also very important. The leader must always be looking to make connections and grow in ways that the group member may not. And they may also promote collaboration between the team and others that they work with. The leader will also face challenges in the professional organization. Leadership can be a major time commitment. Funding may also become a challenge as there may be limited resources for things that the leader is needing. The leader may experience issues with discord amongst the team, which can make working towards a common goal extremely challenging. And then other challenges may include a lack of confidence, admitting one's mistakes, and hesitating to put plans into action. So looking into leadership within professional organizations led me to looking into leadership within the fields of occupational therapy. So I found a qualitative study, and Clark Hurd wanted to look at leadership within the field of OT. And some main themes that he identified here were what factors motivated you to become a leader, What factors do you perceive as key for OTs who take on leadership roles? And how could developing OT leaders be identified and supported? So, some things that were found to motivate these individuals to lead were personal and career development, wanting to be more involved, ability to influence change, and interest in the politics of leadership. One thing I found interesting was that the majority of these leaders landed in leadership roles rather than seeking them out. And I know as students, it may be hard to picture what our role will be in the clinical setting, but understanding that it's always a possibility to emerge as a leader is important. Factors that these leaders perceived as key for leadership were skill and interaction in building relationships, having confidence, credibility, and competence in the field, as well as practicality. In supporting leaders in their development, the leaders mentioned how important it was to be exposed to leadership experiences early on in their curriculum. And I think we've had great exposure to leadership roles and experiences in our time here at UTHSE. It was found that prospective leaders needed to step up to the plate and engage in leadership experience. Finally, individuals may require resources and flexibility to mold into leaders on an individual basis. So, just as I mentioned before, leadership is a unique experience to everyone. So, by giving the individual autonomy to grow into the leader they aspire to become, they can best be set up for success. So, there are a variety of roles that we have the potential to find ourselves in as we advance in our careers. So, some of these may be practice leader, supervisor, coordinator, staff development coordinator, rehabilitation director, or assistant professor. And this is just naming a few. And depending on the setting that we work in, there could be different leadership positions, which is just another really unique thing about the field of occupational therapy. So, some of my final thoughts as I wrap up today is that leadership within any professional organization has the capacity to be the experience that the individual wishes it to be. So, before graduate school, I never really saw many leadership qualities in myself, but knowing that leadership isn't defined by a certain skill is something that I feel like we all should take comfort in. By understanding where our strengths lie, learning more about leadership qualities we do possess, and getting a feel for the professional organizations that we will become a part of, we can blossom as leaders in our own unique way. It is important not to write off the possibility of ending up in a leadership position because, as I mentioned before, it's possible that we could land in a leadership role. It's important to stay informed about leadership opportunities, leadership styles, and leadership responsibilities. I want to thank you all for listening today and make sure to remember to take the leadership quiz and fill out the Google quiz following the in-service today. Thank you all and have a great day.